Hi guys, welcome to sunny, not so sunny Spain. Today is, as you probably can see, it's a little bit of a coldish, rainy day, and I feel like having a cup of tea. So I'm gonna go and get myself a cup of tea. In the meantime, the one thing that I wanted to share with you is the equation that Masha and I figured out that helped us to become multimillionaires. So in the next few minutes, that's what I'm about to share with you. But if you come with me, if you don't mind, we have Joey here and Lenny that is somewhere else, the two dogs that we have in the house. But I wanted to kind of make myself a cup of coffee or tea in this case, because I feel like tea today. And I wanted to share that equation with you. The intention and the reason I'm sharing this with you today is because Masha and I always kind of think about what is it that we can share with you that we feel, might be the thing that helps you to, if you are on the fence or making a decision on how to, have an online course, become an entrepreneur, what is the thing that may help you to actually take that step? And if you did and you feel frustrated, what is the thing probably that you can start implementing? What are the changes that you can make? They can actually help you to get there faster, okay? Just gonna put a little bit of colder water because I like it hot but not too hot, okay? So if you come with me to the office, we'll go and get this on the road. By the way, some of you probably were wondering about the office because a while back I said that we were kind of changing a little bit the office. So this is how the office looks like now. What do you guys think? Yeah? I kind of like it. And we have Pelé. That's, maybe for some of you, you know who that is. It's a very amazing, kind of legend in the soccer kind of environment, right? So I'm gonna leave the cup of tea here. Oh, there is Lenny. I think he wants to listen to us. So anyway, one more minute and I'll get to it in a second. Excellent. Now that we're in the office and we're all ready to go, the thing that you were waiting for, I hope. The equation for guaranteed success. And when I say guaranteed success is that once Masha and I understood this amazing, very simple but amazing equation, and we actually follow through what it says, our success was pretty much guaranteed, because as you probably will see now, it's not rocket science. It is so simple, but at the same time, it's so hard to actually follow through. Okay? Now, without further ado, I'll give you the equation. So the equation is very simple. It's the one thing plus something called grit. And if you haven't heard this word before, I suggest you go right now to the dictionary and go to Google and open a different tab, okay, or a different window, and go and do that. And one thing plus grit equals success. And I wish somebody had shared this with me when I was in my 20s, because when I was younger, I'm now more than double that age, I was a dreamer. I wanted to become a soccer player. I wanted to do so many things in my life, but the one thing that I was missing most of the time either was this or this. And there was never a situation where I understood that doing both together was going to be the thing that was going to take me further, faster. When I say faster, it doesn't mean in 24 hours or 48 hours. Overnight success, I don't believe exists, because that overnight success means that somebody has been doing the work for years, maybe before that, or months before that, But you need to master the craft. You need to be willing to spend, the 10,000 hours that Malcolm Gladwell talks in the book Outliers. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend that you do. But the main thing is you need to master those 10,000 hours in the one thing to choose from. And when I say, people should be choosing the one thing, the first thing that comes to mind to most people is like, yeah, but the market is saturated. There's so many people doing what I'm doing, And I'm sure you have, when you're choosing the one thing, you have some kind of skill, or you have some kind of expertise that are very unique to you, But at the same time, probably they're in a marketplace where there is other people doing something that you're doing, something similar. But the one thing that I want to point out is, as you're choosing the one thing, not to worry so much about what others are doing. You are unique in what you do. We all have our own personal story. There is many people that do what Masha and I do in the online space. But yet here we are doing this. I'm making this video for you. Why? Because I believe that, you know, with my own accent, with my own way of thinking, with my own way of behaving, you know, there will be people that will like it and there will be people that will not like it. And if you don't like it, you know what you need to do. You just need to stop the video and that's it. You know, it's very simple. But if you like it and you believe that it's something that we can help you with, this is what I'm here for. You know, hopefully I can share something that is useful to you. And when you have a look to computers, you know, the computer world, you know, you probably have heard of somebody called Michael Dell. What do they do? Computers. If you go to HP, Hewlett Packard, what do they do? Computers. Apple. What do they do? Computers. The one thing, they started doing computers, for example. You know, if you go to the sports world, probably you have heard of somebody called Rafa Nadal. Who's Rafa Nadal? Well, one of the best players in the history of tennis, right? But is it the only one? No. If you go back and you have a look, there's another guy called Roger Federer, one of the best players in the world, Novak Djokovic. And I'm talking about contemporary, right? If you go back in time, there is other people. So you don't need to become the biggest person in that industry, in that niche. You just need to choose what you want to do. And the next thing, which is super important, is the grit. Now, when you have a look to grit, what it means is really to the ability, you know, to persist for a long time to do something, or let's say a long enough time to actually accomplish a goal. You know, and when the thing that I want to focus on is not so much the length of time, because that varies, you know, depending on what you want to accomplish, but the ability. And when I say the ability, it means that something that we can all do. We just need to choose the same way that we chose the one thing to choose to do. Now, I have my own way of explaining grit, and hopefully that helps you. And probably that's maybe something that you can remember. And I try to kind of create a word that kind of, or a few words that make sense to me. Grit, the G, for me is like grounding myself. And grounding myself means that as much as I'm a dreamer, when I make the decision of doing the one thing was and it is about putting my head down and going to work. So grounding myself, like, you know, sometimes, you know, we get punished or whatever and you say, oh, you need to stay in your room, what kind of thing, but it's to go to work. The R is to resist any temptation to look elsewhere, to have a look to a shiny object or to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes we think we know better, and yet there is other people doing something similar to what we're doing successfully, and yet we want to reinvent the wheel because we think we are different and we are unique. And we are unique, but the wheel is round and it's always going to be round, so don't try to reinvent it. You know, so resist that temptation of reinventing the wheel and having a look to the shiny object. The I, you know, the I is for actually immersing yourself in the process of becoming the best that you can become at the one thing. Okay, and there is no way around that. You know, if you want to become good at something, you're going to have to master that craft. And again, I go back to the 10,000 hours, you know, and 10,000 hours are sometimes not necessarily exactly 10,000, but, you know, a few hundred hours sometimes are just the beginning to become good at something. And it's the level of, let's say, proficiency that you want to be, then it depends on the amount of hours that you spend well on something. And the last thing is the T. And the T is the capability, the ability, and the willingness to try over and over and over again to be the best that you can be at this thing called the one thing. And if you follow to the T this equation, I almost can guarantee you 100% success, because if you never quit and you try one more time and you focus on the one thing and you actually surround yourself with an environment where is going to help you to actually stick to that thing and becoming the best that you can become at that, it doesn't matter how much competition you would have in the marketplace, you will always outrun every single person in that market. And there is enough people in the world, there is enough market for everybody, and there is enough for you to accomplish anything that you want. So if you remember absolutely nothing else, remember the equation for guaranteed success is choosing the one thing, focusing on the grit, you know, just insisting, persisting, and making sure that you do it over and over and over again and you learn what you need to learn, and eventually you will definitely are going to have the success. Now, if you like videos like this, the only thing you need to do is to like the video, click on the notification bell, click on subscribe, and make sure that you follow us. And at the same time, if you like more videos exactly like this about, you know, secrets to multi-million dollars and mindset videos or whatever kind of video you like, make sure that you actually go in the comment below and say, I like this video and I would like to hear more about this, or can you answer this question for me, or anything that we can do to help you to take that, I was saying at the beginning of the video, to take that further step in your journey to become an entrepreneur, to have an online business, to do something different with your life and enrich someone else's life and solving some challenges that other people might be having at the moment. So hopefully I'm hoping that I'm helping you to, to eventually have some grit and stick to something that you thought maybe is the thing that can help you to become successful in life. In the meantime, have an amazing day and we'll see you soon.